For Golden West, I'm Craig Hemingway, along with Jim Cuddy of Blue Rodeo, and of course the Junos coming to Saskatchewan this year. You were here in 2007 in Saskatchewan when they were in Saskatoon, and Juno Cup in Prince Albert. So what did you think when you heard that they're coming back to this province?
Well, I thought that I thought Saskatoon was a really, really enjoyable Junos. There's something about the unity with which Saskatchewan celebrates many things: football, music, and now commerce. That's very enjoyable to participate in. And I was also saying earlier that when we were in Saskatoon and we had the Juno Cup in Prince Albert, we had the drive, the bus drive, and that's the most fun part. The least fun is to finish with all the NHLers and then take a short bus ride to a hotel and then everybody goes off. This one, when we'll be in Moose Jaw, at least we'll have a 40-minute, hopefully there'll be traffic. We can turn that into an hour. But that's the best part, hearing stories and maybe strumming a guitar or something like that.
And, of course, you're the guy behind the Juno Cup. What year did this first start?
It's been 10 years. Is this the 10th year? Oh, good. So this is 10 years. So it was 10 years ago that we started. It was originally an initiative by MasterCard for the Bobby Orr Equipment Drive, and then it didn't have a life there. So it was brought to the Junos, and it's had a great life at the Junos. I think it's really helped to engage the musicians in something more than just coming to receive or lose awards. And I think what it did is it sort of engaged the community a bit more, engaged the musicians. Of course, it's fun to have the NHLers here, and it just made the whole weekend a little bit more of a broader celebration.
And as a hockey fan yourself, it's just probably a thrill when you see these NHL alumni guys that you remember from being on the ice to be able to share the ice with them, right?
Oh, it's ridiculous. And we are very lucky in Canada for many reasons, but one of them is that our sports heroes are actually very nice people. We're not dealing with the huge inflated egos of basketball players or football players. Really, these guys are very down to earth, so they're really enjoyable. And you don't, as much as you admire their skill, you don't really understand how ultra incredible their skills are until you're on the ice, because they just fool around with the poor musicians until they deal the knockout blow in the last couple minutes.
I'm going to take a leap and say, if you're going to the Juno Cup, you aren't going for the hockey necessarily, but how competitive is it?
Well, we try to be as I would say of the team, the musicians team, half the guys can play or maybe play a little hockey, and then many of them, we just want to get people out. We don't really care about the skill level, and some people they don't even know the rules. So sometimes it's a joke, but we try to lull the NHLers into a sense of such complete superiority that they forget about playing the game, and then we'll ice a line that's actually good and try to catch up. But there's a lot more to it than that. There's a skills competition that's a lot of fun, and we always try to provide a close end.
The actual list of some of the NHL alumni and some of the rockers playing in the game was released today, and I think there was a sense of maybe that the game's in Saskatchewan, it'll be primarily Western ex-NHLers, but I mean, it's announced today that Gary Roberts, the former Toronto Maple Leaf and Calgary Flame, who's an Ontario guy, he's coming. Yeah. Is that a connection of yours, or just a guy who has been a part of it and wanted to be a part of it again?
Gary's a friend, and he's really nice to lend his time, because he's an incredibly busy guy. He's got like a second family going, and he's got that crazy gym that he runs. And so, he comes. He's great. Brad Delgarno comes every year. Troy Crowder is great. He comes every year. Mark Napier's kind of the captain of their team, and Mark is a much decorated hockey player and a ridiculously competitive individual. And Mike Sillinger, so local. I mean, what we try to do is we also try to find out who lives in the area and who will come out and play. So I think that's something that we'll also announce a little later on, is some more local former NHLers or players.
Right, and as far as the music team, there's yourself and Jason Plum, speaking of local, rejoining musician, formerly of the Waltons, and now Jason Plum with the Willing. So that's a couple that were announced. Any others you can divulge to us at this point?
Well, the thing about the musicians is we have to get the Juno nomination list, because we try to make it Juno nominees, and we have some idea. I think everybody has some idea of the bands that will be nominated. But until we know the nominations, we can't really. Then we start asking people.
You guys have won, I think, 11 Junos now, and we talked about the Hall of Fame last year. When you look back on the awards themselves, I think artists would probably say, well, we're not in it for the awards, and probably you aren't. But when you win, what does that mean?
Well, I think everybody would tell you that it is an honor to be nominated, because that's an acknowledgement of your work. But it's better to win. It's fun to win. It's just that's a champagne night instead of a beer night. It's a good night. I think that I think for everybody, what it does is it somehow elevates the status of the music culture just by having winners and multiple winners. Arcade Fire will have a big year, and everybody we have crowned them, even though the world owns them. We've crowned them. So I think all it does is it provides a little shine to everyone's daily work, and creates a bit of a celebrity system, which is it's not bad. It's the fun part of it.
We're not used to having events like this in Saskatchewan, so it's a real treat to have Juno Week in Moose Jaw and Regina. What do you tell somebody who, as a fan, who wants to buy tickets and go check out some of the events, if not the award show themselves, some of the other events leading up to it, Juno Fest, things like that? How do you explain to them how cool it is?
Oh, I think that it's well worth taking some time off to do it. First of all, there's just absolutely a ton of bands that come and play, and that's unusual for any city, whether it's the size of Regina or the size of Toronto. You're going to see some bands just doing their act, but then you're going to see a lot of things like the bands that are either playing with each other or one of my favorite things is the songwriter circle. Is that I don't know when it's taking place. Sometimes it takes place on Thursday night. Sometimes it's a Sunday morning. Is the acoustic show back to the Sunday morning? Sunday morning. So the Sunday morning is perfect because it's Saturday night. It's usually a late night. Sunday morning is you're a little tired. And it's just a very casual, usually there's 8 different songwriters, and all of interest, and you just see them in the most casual, unadorned setting. So that's the kind of thing that happens all over the city during those 4 days.
Juno Week is April 15th to the 21st in Regina and in Moose Jaw. And April 19th, the Juno Cup hockey game at Mosaic Place in Moose Jaw, featuring Jim Cuddy, the originator, the captain of the Rockin' team. We'll see you on the ice in Moose Jaw in April. Can't wait.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it as well.